Hi folks, my name is Ful-Chiq-King. You can call me Mr. Versatile. So I'm about to give you some details about the DV Lottery 2024. But for the entry, I'll do that in the second video. But for this one, I want to tell you a little bit more about the photo, the passport. Then some things that you need to know, some things that you don't need to know. So let's start with the photo first. Then we come back with some instructions to, I want you to notice some things, okay? So we go to the photo first, right? So you can see the examples of the photos. All this are acceptable, right? You know, our fellow Arabs or Muslims, they are also okay to put on their scarves, but you make sure that you look straight into the cameras, right? So aside them, you see this one, you see the picture. I don't know if it can open, but it can't. But let's do something similar. Let's come down. You see this picture. You see the space between the head. It's normal if your head is a little bit up. It's also normal, right? The only thing is you make sure that your hair doesn't touch this line, and just leave a little bit gap so that when they're cropping it, it will be easy for them to crop, all right? And you see, you can see his shoulders. It's acceptable. And also this and this is acceptable. If your shoulders is cut off like this way, it's good. That way is good. And you can see the level of their head is all not the same. Some are a little bit down and some are a little bit up, right? You just make sure that the gap between your head and that line doesn't touch, and make sure that there's a little bit space in there. For the other side, like this side and that side, your shoulders can show like this one, and your shoulders can be capped too. So notice, you see the head round like this. You make sure that your both ears are showing. Your both ears are showing. And you make sure that you look straight into the cameras. You look straight into the cameras. You could see all the pictures, they're looking straight into the cameras. And the back's supposed to be a white background, right? That will be a white background. So these are things that you need to look. So let's go a little bit more into details. Okay, so let's come this way. Look at these pictures. This one, the background is white, but you could see that it's kind of black. It's unacceptable. This one, there's too much light on the image. There is too much light on the image, which makes you very difficult to see the face. That is not acceptable. This one, you could see that everything is on point. And please, no shadows, no shadows. If you have a shadow, that is a no for you. So note that. It's better you get a professional photographer to take those pictures for you. So let's go to the digital image requirement. So the image dimension must be a square aspect ratio. The height must be equal to the width. Minimum acceptable dimensions are 600 by 600 pixels. So when you take the photo, you don't need to print it out. You need to keep the soft copy. But when you editing it, you make sure that the pixels is 600 by 600. If You don't want that. You could do it 1200 by 1200 pixels. Remember, 600 by 600 and or 1200 by 1200. The image must be in a color form, so it must be colored. Alright, this will be too much for you to understand, but the file format must be JPEG. You make sure you don't do it PNG or any other thing. Just make sure it's JPEG. And the image must be less than or equal to 240 gigabytes, or sorry, kilobytes. So you make sure that the image is less than 240 or equal to 240. So if it's 241, that is a no-no. All right, I'll leave this because we already explained this here. So when we're talking about the cropping or the size of the image, it's supposed to be 2 inches by 2 inches. So this side is going to be 2 inches and this side is also going to be 2 inches. But if you don't understand the inches very well, then it's supposed to be 51 millimeters. Here is supposed to be 51 millimeters and here is supposed to be 51 millimeters to get a square of that picture. And remember, it's supposed to be 600 by 600 pixels or 1200 by 1200 pixels. Whilst you have this, I think you are good to go. And if you want to check your images without checking it on the side, you could download this on your phone. We have a tiny photo TinyPhoto on your phone. It's an app that can tell you the pixels. I mean, you can tell you the pixels, the ratio, and every aspect of your passport picture. So that is all about the photo. If you have any problem or anything to ask, you could ask me on the comment section. So let's go back and let me give you some few ideas of other mistakes that we do, other mistakes that we actually do on when submitting an entry. Yeah, we do a lot of mistakes, and so you make sure you get it right, the right thing done. Okay, so I'm not going to show you how to set an entry, but I'll show you some things that you make sure that you don't repeat those mistakes. Okay, PMA 5SN. Okay, I want to show you something that you should be mostly aware of. So this is city that you were born, don't click here, bed city unknown, don't click there. Okay, don't click there. Make sure you know the city that you were born. If you have a passport, you will see the city that you were born on your passport at the front page. If you have a birth certificate, it's there. You just type the city. Make sure you don't type the country, the city here. And when you come down, this is the country. You click on it, then you click the country that you were born. So you make sure that the city and the country correspond. So let's take it for instance, if you were born in Ghana, or let's say you were born in Accra, you put Accra here, then you come back and choose Ghana over here. Or let's say you were born in Togo, you put Togo here, you were born in Lome, you put Lome here, then you come down and you put Togo over there. Make sure. The sixth one, make sure that the country that you were born is supposed to be yes. If it is no, that's a different issue. That's a different issue. So if you said no, it means that you are not a citizen of the country that you were born. It means that it is time for you to choose the actual country that you are a citizen of. So let's say if I'm a Nigerian and I was born in Ghana and I put Ghana over here, it means when I said no, it means that I'm not claiming to be a Ghanaian. But if I pick Nigeria or any other country here, that is telling you that I'm actually a citizen of that country. Right? So you should know that. But if you're born in that country, it should always be yes, so that I don't confuse yourself. So this is the place that you submit your picture. So when you choose your new photo, you go then upload your passport picture. So when it comes to email, when it comes to the email address, it could be your house address, or it could be your work address, it could be your friend's address. You should know that it's a mailing address. So far as they can ship something over there, it should be a mailing address. So in care of, if it's your house address, you put your name. But if it is not your address or anyone's address, you put that person's name over here, then you fill in the address. Mostly if you have somebody in US and you want to use the person's address, you put that person's name here, then you put the person's address to fill it up. So when you fill it up, make sure selecting the country, you put in the country that has this address. Don't get it twisted. You put the country that has the address. Good. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section and I'll come and answer you. You should know that a country that you live in today could not be the country that you come from. So let's say if I'm coming from Ghana and I live in Nigeria, I will put Nigeria over here because I'm not living in Ghana. And as at the time that you put in the information, that is the time that you put in the country that you are in. So let's say I'm putting the information now and I don't live in Ghana, but I live in US. So I will just put USA here because I live in USA now, but I'm a citizen of Ghana. You should always get it right, the place you live. But if you want to choose Ghana, it's up to you. Or if you want to choose the country that you're coming from, it's up to you. Maybe a month or so you go back to your country. So you don't want a situation whereby you win, you have to go back to that country that you put it in and do your papers. So let's say I'm in China, but I'm a Ghanaian and I file it today, and I know like in 2 months time I'm going to go back to Ghana and I'm coming back to China. Then I'll maybe put in Ghana and see if anything goes through. I just do my papers in Ghana. But if I put China and I win, it means that I'm going to do everything in China. There might be a Ghanaian embassy over there, so you have to do everything in China. So let's say you put China and you win and you go back to Ghana, you have to come back to China and do all these procedures. So you should know. If you have any questions, just leave your questions down. Here's a phone number, is optional. Your email address, make sure you put your email address, you type it here, don't copy and paste, just type it so that you know you put the right one. And when you're talking about school 2, number 12, it means when you went to primary school, that was your high level of education, you take it primary school. But you went to high school and no degree. You went to high school, you didn't complete, you didn't have any degree in high school. That's when you choose this. High school degree, you went to high school and actually completed, you choose that. Or you went to a vocational school for some certification course or maybe some level course, you choose it. You went to university without completing, but you deferred your course or something, you choose that. You went to the university, you completed, you were a graduate, you choose that. You went to university or any other institution or level with the university programs, and you did some courses, you choose that. You have your master's degree, you choose that. You're doing your doctor's degree, you're not done, but you're still doing it, you choose that. When you're done with your doctor's degree and you have a degree on that, you choose that. You always make sure you choose the right thing. Right? Okay. You must have a minimum of high school diploma reflecting the completion of the full course of study. Vocation schools or equivalency degrees are not accepted. Or be a skilled worker or occupation that requires at least 2 years of training experience to qualify. Visit to see if your occupation qualifies for a DV lottery. So that is it. So and number 13, another useful aspect. If you are single, never married before, you choose unmarried. 2, married and my spouse is not a U.S. citizen or U.S. lawful permanent resident. This means you are married, but your husband is not from the U.S. He's not a U.S. citizen or anything. That is what you choose. 3rd, you are married, and my spouse is a U.S. citizen or U.S. lawful permanent resident. If you're married and your spouse has a green card or is a citizen of U.S., you choose this, because when you choose this, it's not going to give you another page for you to fill in out for your spouse. But when you are married and your spouse is not a U.S. citizen, it means that there will be another page for you to fill in for your spouse. You will need your spouse information and his passport picture to fill it up for him, because you guys are married. So it's going to be under one entry. But if it's a U.S. citizen, you're still filling up for yourself. They will just know that, oh, okay, your husband is just a U.S. citizen. So there's no need for you to fill it up for him because he's already living in the state. Remember, if you are married and you are divorced, that is what you choose. And remember, if you've married before, there is no way you can become single when you are married before. If you are married before, there is no way you become single. You only become divorced, widow, or legally separated. So unmarried is for single people who haven't married before. Note, if you are married before, there's no way you can become single. Remember, it's not only for the DV lottery, it's for other things that you feel, and maybe you're filling immigrant visa or anything. You should know that. If your spouse is dead or something, just put on the widow. And this, legally separated, is for only those that legally they've been separated but they're still married. You should note that. Good. So if you want to enter spouse information, you click here and fill it out. But if you don't, just leave it. And I don't think anybody who is separated wants to fill in for a spouse. If you put in that, it's going to create another page for you. And here is the number of children. So if you have 0, you put 0. If you have 1, you put 1. And make sure if there are 1 or 2, remember there is 2 extra page for you to fill. If there are 1, there is 1 page for you to fill. And that will be your kid's information. And make sure you already have the passport picture of your kid and the information that your kids need, the date of birth, similar to yours. And when you're done, you click continue. And when you click continue, every information that you picked it up will show here for you to go through and do any changes and stuff. Once you're done, you submit. So I will do a video of filling up all these for you guys to understand it better. But I just want you to know some questions, some things that will not get you confused. Alright, so I'll do part 2 of this video to enter every information for you to know it better. Alright, my name is Ful-Chiq-King. You can call me Mr. Versatile, or subscribe to my YouTube channels for more tutorials about things like this. Until then, I'll see you in the part 2 of this video. I'm out.